Hello, welcome to the Stevenson School for Ministry course, The Message of Mission. Now, there aren't many things in which the British lead the Americans, and church decline is one of them. But be careful, because America is catching up in terms of church decline. You don't need me to tell you that. You know it just from looking at your own parish and the parishes around you, that the church in the United States is in a time of crisis. Locally, in all mainline congregations, not just Episcopalians, but all mainliners, attendance and membership has declined by around 25% in the last 10 years. Now, that's a shocking statistic. You may not even be aware of that, because if just a few people leave your church per year, you don't really notice that. You know, you've gone from maybe 70 to 65, you know, it's not a big deal. But if you keep losing that each year, then it's not long before you're in real crisis. And that is how we are in the mainline churches in central Pennsylvania, and I believe also throughout the whole of the United States. And it's a phenomenon where we are following the churches in Britain and Europe, in Australasia, in fact in all of the Western world, the developed countries where the church is in decline. Now, as you know, it's not in decline in the developing world. In Latin America, in Africa, in Asia, where the church is actually growing at a rate which is extremely encouraging, but also raises very serious questions about where the power of world Christianity now lies. But anyway, that's another matter entirely. This course is our attempt in the Stevenson School to equip you to address church decline. Now, the way we're going to do this is to look basically at the book of Acts, the Acts of the Apostles, written by Luke, the same man who wrote the Gospel of that name. And we're going to look at Acts week by week, both in the 8 weeks of lectures and the 2 end pieces in Danville. We're going to study the book of Acts and learn from the apostles, Paul and his colleagues, how it is that we, in a declining church at the beginning of the 21st century in North America, can address the decline of Christianity. My view is that this requires a wholesale reimagining of what it means to be the Christian church. We live at a time where it's often 2 and even 3 generations since people in our communities have had a meaningful relationship with the Christian church. And so in many ways we're very similar to the world where the apostles lived, where Christianity was a completely new thing, an unheard of thing, and they were introducing faith in Jesus to people who had never even heard of Jesus. So we are beginning to take on that kind of culture, a culture where there isn't really much knowledge of Jesus compared to the way there was a couple of generations ago, and where we are having to introduce people to just the basic concepts of our faith. That's challenging. You can lament that, you can wring your hands and say, isn't everything awful? But actually I think that is an exciting challenge. Because just as people don't carry with them a knowledge of Christian doctrine, neither do they carry with them any baggage that makes them opposed or closed to the Christian faith. So there are good things about this. So throughout this course we'll be looking at some of the main ideas and concepts and practices to do with sharing the faith. to a generation where people have lost touch with the Christian faith. I think you will be challenged in this course. It seems to me that we in the church, as we have become smaller and more marginalised, have retreated really within our own four walls. We have, I think, become very comfortable in our own company and lost both the desire and the skill to communicate the faith in a way that is natural, helpful and real to those people who are not Christians. So in this course you will be challenged to examine your own practice of sharing your faith. You will be required to think through how you are to do that in the future and how you can be an influence in your churches in ways which encourage your parish to form a bridge into its community. This is not optional. I really believe that if our church is to have a future, this has to be our top priority, a rediscovery of the evangelistic, missional imperative that Christ gave his church, which the apostles modelled for us, and which for centuries was our practice. Now it's not our practice, and we must rediscover it as the central calling, the main purpose of our life as the Christian church. So, because you've signed up for this course, I hope that your heart is something similar to mine, and if it is, then we will have an excellent time in these next few weeks as we read through Acts and as we draw out ways in which the apostles help us in the task of doing mission in central Pennsylvania today. But be prepared for a wild ride, be prepared to challenge your theology, be prepared to change what you understand the church to be, and let's become fitter, leaner Christians when it comes to sharing our faith in communities that don't know about Jesus yet. So have a great time. I'm going to, and I look forward to getting to know you better. Thank you.